So I'm Sarah Jacobs. I'm the president of WAM Fam, which is a parents organization here in Silver Spring. And about 3 years ago, one of our members was looking into Drag Queen Story Hour and hoping to expand a local chapter here. And she came to me saying, hey, we need a place to hold this. We need kids to come to it. And we ended up having the very first Drag Queen Story Hour DMV event in my backyard. I think we had about 50 families come. Logan Stone, our local drag performer, performed for us. The kids had a blast, and we wanted to find a way to keep it going. So it took a little bit, but Loyalty Bookstore in downtown Silver Spring finally partnered with us. After that, we had to go online for the pandemic, but mustered through, had some great Zoom performances, and now Drag Queen Story Hour is taken off, and there's a full lineup for Pride Month this month. We have performers at Brookside Gardens and all sorts of venues all across DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia. The kids benefit just because it's a totally new experience for a lot of them. They see a performer unlike their local librarian who they might have gone to story time with before. And we had a dress-up event after one Drag Queen Story Hour, and the kids just have a whole new opportunity to express themselves in ways that maybe they've never seen an adult express themselves in, so they don't think that they perhaps have the permission to do that, or someone that they can look up to who's just expressing themselves in their most natural and very expressive way. My kids love it. They talk about Drag Queen Story Hour for hours after we come home, and they're exposed to stories that help to normalize families that they may not have seen in stories before. So 2 dad families, 2 mom families, non-binary characters, all of those things are discussed at Drag Queen Story Hour in a way that's so inviting and age appropriate for our kids. So they just get exposed to all sorts of great ideas and families, etc. For parents and adults, it's excellent too. You see tons of parents and adults getting up to dance. They get to sing along to the Drag Queen on the Bus song. And in general, it's just such an open and inviting event that everybody feels welcome. The kids feel welcome. The parents feel welcome. It starts great conversations at home. Yeah, so throughout the year, there are events routinely. We've partnered with Brookside Gardens. Local library systems have started to have some drag queens come and do story hour with them as well. There's a monthly performance in downtown Silver Spring at the Fountain on the day of the farmers market. So lots of great family events. Everybody gets together. Sometimes there's crafts. There's always singing. There's always dancing. And the kids just get to have a great time. So like I say, the very first Drag Queen Story Hour was 3 years ago in my backyard. We wanted to keep it going, and it took a little bit to find a partner in Loyalty Bookstore. We had a monthly event going with them. The pandemic came, so we went online. But if you look at our one event from June of 2019, and here we are 3 years later with like a dozen events, it's amazing to see how much it has grown. And I can only hope that more venues, more public libraries, more bookstores invite Drag Queen Story Hour to come and perform for them and engage their communities, because it is just such a great way to be entertained, to expose your kids to great stories and great performers, and meet people in your community. Yeah, it's incredibly important because our kids get to see people who reflect who they are. There's a little kiddo in our group who recently came out as non-binary, and they loved coming to Drag Queen Story Hour to get to see that play with gender, that you don't have to choose one or the other, that you can experience gender in all sorts of different ways. And they were so excited to see an in-person representation of that. It gave them someone to look to as an idol or an icon and understand that all of their feelings were valid, and like I say, that gender is not binary, it's fluid. Yeah, there's some incredible stories told. There's a drag queen story hour performer, I think from Oklahoma, Little Miss Hot Mess, who's actually a parent themselves, and they've written 2 books that are read at Drag Queen Story Hour. But otherwise, it's stories that show, like I say, different types of families, different types of kids. So one of my favorite stories is Harriet Gets Carried Away. It's about a little girl who goes to the grocery store with her dads to get prepared for her birthday party. And while in the frozen aisle, she gets carried off in a daydream and ends up in Antarctica with penguins. But like I say, it's just stories that really show all sorts of different families, all sorts of different kiddos, and teach our kids pretty much that love is love, a family is a family, and gives them representations of all sorts of different families and the way in which love is shown. In terms of even just myself as a parent, it's been great to show my kids all of these things that we talk about in books, to show them performers and people in real life who just embrace every part of themselves. And so as a parent, I get to show my kids that they really can be whoever or whatever they want to be at Drag Queen Story Hour, with performers who really do embrace that in themselves. And that is infectious to the kids. The kids see that love of self, and it just creates an amazing lesson for them.